Good evening, guys. Good evening, everyone. So, agenda for today's meeting is like to discuss the interview questions, guys. So most of you know that we are. I have provided some referral openings, isn't it? I have provided some referral openings. I referred or shared your profile to my associate QA companies. Uh, guys, those who attended that interview, those interviews shared some questions. So I want to discuss those questions, guys. Okay.
Only
Akila,
one person, she might be a HR, so she just asked my introduction and she asked me one question. That's it.
only one.
It's about J meter. J meter,
Right,
how it works.
right. So this is the question that you asked, right? So you are asked, right?
Yes.
Okay. Past experience and why I want to shift to IT side and load runner components and how JMeter works. These are the questions that you faced, right?
Yes,
Right,
sir.
Akila? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So can you explain what did you answer for this? Why you want to shift to IT side?
Sir, I told like I have interest, like I have developed interest by seeing the technology that is evolving nowadays. So
Okay.
in that way, I have developed interest in IT field and that would be helpful for me to in future also. So I just
Okay.
want to stick to IT field.
Okay, fine. So guys, what would be your answer, guys? 1 second. So let me pick some people. So I want to ask non-computer guys the same question. I want non-computers guys the same question. So I'll go with 1 second. Sai Krishna. Sai Krishna from civil side again. Right? One more student from civil side. Sai Krishna, how would you answer this question? If the HR or if the interviewer asks you like why do you want to shift to IT, so how would you answer that, Sai Krishna?
Sir, actually, I will say I'm passionate about IT and I'm having my passion in IT. So I want to shift to IT, sir.
Okay, so please be a bit louder. So I want to ask Supriya. Most of you are from non-computer side only, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I want to ask, see, just, ask the same question, like, assume that you face the same question when you attend the interviews, like, give your answer. What would be your answer if someone asks, like, why do you want to shift to IT side?
So can I answer for this? Like, according to me, I don't know whether it is.
Yes, please. Yes.
According to understanding the strengths of me and after identifying the interest of me, so I found the IT sector is one of the thing where I can put on my strengths and work on my improve my confidence levels and to gain benefits from the technology what it is being developed.
Okay, good, Supriya. Yeah, Supriya, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah. So so be prepared for these type of questions. Okay. So be prepared for. See, that is the reason I arranged this session, guys. So if someone asks you such out of the box questions or out of, so you can't simply give up saying that like we are not prepared for those type of questions, right? So you should not give it up, right? So please be prepared for these type of questions. What I will do is I'll consolidate all the questions. 1 second, let me pass. These are the questions, guys. These are the questions. One of the participant or one of the students who attend that referral openings faced this, and I want to discuss these questions in detail. So we already covered this, right? So you should be prepared. Everyone should be prepared for this from non-computer side, guys. Those who are coming from non-computer side, you should be prepared for this question. Okay. And the next question is like, this is common for everyone, right? So what are the different load runner components? Yes. What are the different, let me ask a few people, like, so I want to ask this for Nandakishore. Sorry, I think, those who attended load runner, completed load runner already. Priyanka, let me ask Priyanka. What are the different load runner components? So if the same question is asked for you, so what will you answer, Priyanka?
Sir, I'm in function, sir, actually.
Okay, enjoy your function then. I will share the recorded session, okay? So you can enjoy your function. I will share the recorded session and I will upload to my YouTube channel as a public video actually. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me source the second question. Yes. Mansa. What would be your answer for the second question, Mansa? What are the different load runner components? Mansa? Yes, please make it fast. We have a lot of questions to discuss. Mansa, are you able to hear me? Okay, I think she's not connected to audio actually. Yeah, she's not connected to audio. Let me ask Murali.
Yes, sir.
What are the different load runner components, Murali?
Vision, controller, and analysis.
Fusion, right? Controller
And analysis.
and analysis components, right? Okay. So what is the purpose of each of these components? Let me ask, let me extend that question. Okay. So what is the purpose of this fusion and controller and analysis? Yes. Yes, these questions are applicable for freshers as well as experienced guys. Okay. So let's extend this question. Actually, the question asked is what are the different load runner components? That's it. But I want to extend the question. Yes, Murali, what is the purpose of fusion?
Fusion is a tool which is used to record a script.
Okay. So this is for recording or creating a script, right? Yes. And what else? Creating a script and then or generating a script and what else? What else can we do with the fusion?
We can create and we can enhance it.
Right. Enhance the script. Okay.
Then
Yes,
we can
enhance the script as well as we can debug the script, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. And what is the purpose of controller component? Okay. Let me ask one more question on fusion. Please wait. So let me ask one more question on fusion. What is the limitation of fusion?
Sir, one user.
Right. So in fusion, we can run a script with only one user, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Guess I got only one answer. Only one guy. Who is that who answered this?
Ganesh, sir.
Ganesh. How about others, guys? Those who completed load runner.
You are asking only for one guy, sir, so that we are waiting.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So Karishma, what is controller? If you know, like, what is the role of controller or what is the purpose of controller component?
Controller is used to create the workload modeling. We used to create the scenarios.
Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, we used to create the scenarios and we'll run the test for several users, which means
Execute load test.
yes.
Right. Right. Execute load test and that's it.
I said there are.
Right. Okay, that's fine. So these are enough. And what is the purpose of analysis component? So when I say execute load test, we can execute any type of test, isn't it? So what are the different types of tests? See, guys, I'm just extending that question. Okay, because there is no, there is no rule that you'll face the same question, right? So other interviews may ask, different questions on this, isn't it? There is no guarantee that, only this question will be asked. Yes or no? So when we say execute load test, what are the different types of tests or execute load test or execute performance test? Let me, answer it in a better way. Execute performance test. Now, what are the different types of performance tests that we can execute? Karishma.
Yes, load test,
Okay.
smoke test, spike test, endurance test,
Spike, endurance. Yeah.
volume test,
Okay.
failover test,
Right. So all these we can
Stress
execute
test.
any of these performance test types, right? Using controller component. What else? Stress test, right? And all this, etc., etc. We have some capacity testing and few more, right?
Soap and endurance tests are both same, right? So
Right. Soak or endurance are same, right? Okay. Sorry, it's my bad. Let me put it in this way. Soak or endurance, right? So these are the different types of performance tests that we can execute, right? And what are the different type of scenarios that we can execute with a controller component?
goal-oriented
We
scenario.
can execute two different types of scenarios. What are they?
manual, goal.
Yes, manual and
Goal-oriented.
right, goal-oriented scenarios. Okay. Right. And again, they can ask some questions on what are the different goal-oriented scenarios, right? What are the different types of goal-oriented scenarios? Guys?
Can measure the response time. Throughput, hits per second.
What are the different types of how many types of goals are there in load runner? Hits per second is one goal, right?
Transaction per second.
Transaction response time.
Throughput.
Yes.
Throughput,
Throughput. Okay. What are the other different types of goals, guys?
Sir, request per second and transaction are same, sir.
Request per second and transactions per second. No, a transaction.
Sorry,
can
sir.
we
Hits
include
per
pages
second
per
and
second?
request.
Right. So virtual users, yeah. So first one is virtual users. That is the first goal type, and then hits per second, transactions per second, response time, pages per minute. So virtual users, I missed that one, right? Virtual users. Hits per second, transactions per second, transaction response time. Yes. Transactions per second. And I already mentioned transactions per second, pages per minute. That is the fifth one. Isn't
so
it?
you said that transaction per second is nothing but the throughput, sir, in Little's law. So that we are assuming
Pages, transactions per second. Yes.
Yeah, comes under
Pages per
throughput.
minute. Yeah. Throughput means yes. So this is transactions per second, isn't it? So the other one is pages per minute. Right? These are the 5 different types of goals. Let me do the same thing. Transactions per second. Throughput. Name it as transactions per second. Right. So these are the 5 different types of goals, right? And now what is analysis component? What is the purpose of analysis component?
Prepare the reports.
Load runner analysis component. What is the purpose of that? Yes.
We can filter
We
the
can,
results for analysis.
Prepare the
Analyze
report,
the test results.
analysis of the report and prepare the report.
Right. To analyze the test results, right? Yes. We can filter the results, right? Filter the results.
We can
Yes.
evaluate the peak
Creating
load
of
points.
reports.
Create reports. Yes. Right. Etc. Etc. So this is the purpose of analysis component. Right now. So anything else you want to discuss? Shall we move to the next one? If anyone else asked any of this, any other questions, let me know. We'll discuss those. Right now the next question, this is, this is another important interview question, guys. How does JMeter work? And actually I already explained this, right? But it did not come under like, yeah, I'll discuss these questions which are being posted in the chat. I'll come to that. First, let's complete these, whatever posted in WhatsApp group, like let's complete this. So how does JMeter work? Another important interview question is, how does JMeter work, right? Or, like how does load runner work, right? They can ask the same question for load runner as well. How does load runner work, right? I'd like to ask this question to, 1 second. Please make it fast. Yeah, Murli,
Yes.
please go ahead. So how do you answer this question if someone asks like, how does JMeter work?
So JMeter works, group of servers sending.
Yeah, Murli.
A group of sending request to a targeted server.
Right. Yeah, please go ahead. So, right, you are in the right direction. Yes. JMeter sends request to the target server. What is target server? What does that? What does it mean?
Couldn't recall, sir.
Application that we are testing, application under test. Target server means nothing but application under test. Whatever application you are testing, right?
Yeah, to a particular website or else application.
Right. Yes, this answer was not this question was not answered properly, like, to whomsoever it was asked, but actually I have a separate slide on this. Okay, the exact, see, okay, let me show you that. How does JMeter perform load testing, right? You see it here, right? Okay, I have to edit that link. Okay, let me show that. That I already covered that in the training recording. Yeah, please go ahead. Someone told that they will answer that. Yeah, who is that?
సార్ నందకిషోర్ మాట్లాడుతున్నాను.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
నాకు తెలిసి చెప్తాను సార్. We will connect a browser to JMeter internally and we will run the script. Without the browser, JMeter doesn't work.
Without browser,
Without the proxy,
Right, in one word.
Okay. So how does JMeter work means, how does JMeter do performance testing? That's what the question means. Okay. How does JMeter does performance testing? That is what they are asking. Okay.
We will create load using JMeter as a proxy on the server,
right.
And
we will create JMeter. We will use JMeter script to, or JMeter sends the request to the target server, to the application under tester. So let me show you. Did I cover this slide or no? JMeter create requests and sends them to the server, just like a web browser requesting a page. Right? When a real world user uses a browser and sends a request, right? Sends a request to the application. So in the same way, JMeter scripts, we use JMeter scripts to create the request, and JMeter sends those requests to the server, just like a web browser requesting a page, and receives the response from the server and collects them and visualizes those details in a chart or a graph. So this is what they are expecting when they ask that question, how does JMeter work? Okay. So this is what they are asking. And if you remember, the same diagram is very important. And that's the reason I have kept it in the course documents also, PDF also. Okay. So this is my course contents document. Let me show you. So even that also, in that document also, I have kept the same diagram. Right. So let me show you that. So you need to understand how these performance tools works, right? This is my course contents documents, which most of you have this with you. The reason why I kept this is to understand like how does JMeter work. Understood, guys? Or how does JMeter do performance testing? So this is what you have to explain. So what we are doing here when you are not only JMeter case, for that matter, whether it is load runner or JMeter or neoload or any other tool, if someone asks like how does those tools works, right? So we will create some scripts and those tools sends those requests with the help of by running those scripts. Those tools send the request to the server just like a browser, like a real user accessing any application. And the tools receive the response from the server, collects them and visualizes those details in a chart or a graph, right? So it's not only limited to JMeter. That is how your all performance tools works, right? So when you are running a, for example, if you are running a load runner script, what does it do? Load runner script actually sends the request, HTTP request. If it is web protocol, right? Web HTTP HTML protocol, it will simply send a web HTTP HTML request, isn't it? Let me open up one load runner script and JMeter script and explain this. Okay, I already explained this, so let me revise that. Let me repeat the explanation, or what what is the how best you can answer the question. So when you are using any performance testing tool, whether it is load runner or JMeter or neoload or any other performance testing tool, actually when you run a script, right, you are actually sending a, if you are using, let's assume you are using web HTTP HTML protocol. So your script actually, when you are running a script, right, these tools send the request, HTTP request to the server and receive the response. What response the server is returning to the particular tool, that response will be captured, isn't it? And the transaction response times are measured and all this, and we can visualize or we can analyze that data, isn't it? So when you are running,
Yes,
let's
sir.
say you are running any of these scripts, right? So it will send this request, this HTTP request, right? This is a HTTP request, and this HTTP request will be sent to the application under test, right? So if you take JMeter, right? One second, let me open JMeter and open one of the scripts. So how does JMeter does performance testing? So once you start the script, right, or once you start the test, right, so your JMeter will be sending, let's say if you assume that we are using the web protocol, right? So your JMeter will be sending that that HTTP request, yes or no? Let me open some recent scripts. So let's take Blaze demo, right? So when you replay the script, what happens is when you replay the script, your JMeter tool will be sending this HTTP request, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no,
Yes,
guys?
sir.
Yes,
Your
sir.
JMeter tool will be sending this HTTP request to the server. We can see that what is the request that is sent to the server. Suppose if you replay the script, right? So we can see what is the exact request that is sent to the server. Yes or no? Where can we see that? See here, you can see the complete request. Yes or no? This is a get request, right? https://blazdemo.com index.php. This is the request that your JMeter tool is sending to the server. And this is the response that we are getting from the server. Did I explain these tabs or no?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
And this is what you have to actually explain when they ask, like, how does JMeter does performance testing? They did not ask like what type of, what language JMeter was developed, right? In which language JMeter was developed. That is not their question, right? So how does JMeter perform load testing means you have to tell that whether it is load runner or JMeter, if you assume that you are running a web protocol script, right? So it will send the web request or web HTTP HTML request, right? And receives a response from the server. Whatever response is returned by the server will be received, and it will store that data and we can analyze that data. Yes or no? So it stores the data. We can see that in the form. We can capture that if you add some listeners, right? So we can capture that response, whatever response we are getting from the server, and we can analyze those results. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So this is what they are expecting when they ask this question, this particular question. how does JMeter work, or how does JMeter do performance testing, or load runner, how does load runner work, right? So proxy concept will not see. Proxy concept is exist only when you are recording a script. When you are replaying a script and when you are executing a test, there is no proxy concept. Someone is mentioning about proxy concept. There is no proxy concept when we are replaying the script or when we are executing a test. Understood, guys, or any confusion?
Yes, sir.
I
Understood.
also explained
Yes, sir.
why we are setting JMeter as a proxy with this diagram, right? So what is a proxy server, and why should we set JMeter as a proxy between your browser and server? I already explained this, right? We spent a lot of time on this, one complete session on this. Okay, now I'll move to the next question and stop recording. Next question that they ask is, what are load runner sections in the script? It should be, I think it should be actions, not sections. Or, both are same actually. Actions or sections are the same. Yes, what are the different load runner actions in a script?
We init action and
Yes.
we
User
init
init, action, user end,
User
globals.h.
init, yes. Action,
And
user. Guys, those who joined JMeter, ignore these load runner questions, guys. Okay. Right. So these are the different actions in, and who asked, Naeem, did you answer this question correctly, Naeem?
Yes, sir. I answered.
Okay. So are they, did they ask any follow-up questions on this?
No, sir, they didn't.
Okay. Right. So shall we move to the next one, guys? So what is the purpose of user init? What goes into user init? What goes into user end? And what goes into
The sign in
main
part goes into user init, the action goes into action part, the user end part goes into sign out for application.
Right. So home page of the application and login or sign in goes into user init, and user end sign off or log out part, right?
Out or log out.
Part goes into user end. And what does this main action? What is the purpose of this main action?
business
Transactions, business transactions.
Main business flows, business transactions, isn't it? Go into this action, this main action, right? And we can rename this, isn't it? We can rename this action, right? Which I have already shown. I think last week only I have explained these concepts. Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Right? I almost covered 90% of the interview questions what are being asked, more than 90%. Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? We'll see that, we'll see if there are any questions which are not explained in the training. What is the next question? What is rendezvous point and what is its significance? Did I cover this or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Yes. So what is your answer, Naeem?
Sir, for rendezvous point, I gave the proper answer, sir, that it will generate simultaneous.
Okay, let me ask others. Okay, please wait.
Yes.
Ganesh,
Yes.
what would be your answer if someone asks you the same question?
Sorry, all the requests are waiting for a certain point to hit a server. Sir, can I tell in Telugu?
Yeah.
Sir, అన్ని రిక్వెస్ట్ ఒక్కసారి వెయిట్ చేసే సార్ అంటే ఒక్క టైంలో హిట్ చేయడానికి సర్వర్ ని
అన్ని యూజర్స్ నాట్ అన్ని రిక్వెస్ట్ కాదు ఆల్ ద యూజర్స్ వెయిట్ if you insert some rendezvous point, all the users wait at that point, right? So I covered this on 7th April, isn't it? Rendezvous point is covered on 7th April, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, and what is, okay, what type of users are issued with rendezvous point if they ask you this question? Okay, or else, let me ask in this way. Rendezvous point is used to issue. Okay, what would be your answer? Concurrent users or simultaneous users?
Simultaneous users, sir.
Right. Yes, you should mention that, right? So we use rendezvous point to achieve simultaneous users, isn't it? Yes or no, guys? Load runner,
Yes,
we
sir.
use that to achieve that simultaneous users, right? And I also explained what is concurrent user, what is simultaneous user. I already covered that, and we spent one whole session on that, isn't it? Where is controller? Yes, controller PPT. You should remember this diagram. So as soon as they ask rendezvous point, you should remember you should recollect this diagram, isn't it? You should recollect like what is concurrent user, what is simultaneous user, yes or no, right? So you should recollect this diagram immediately. So concurrent users means
May or
what
may
is
not
meant by
perform the same transaction at the same point of time.
at same point of time, right? Whereas if you want to make all the users perform same transaction at same point of time, we can use load runner, we use rendezvous point. In JMeter, I did not cover yet, of course. So we are at to cover that. So in JMeter, we use something called synchronizing timer. In JMeter, we have something called synchronizing timer. Let me quickly show that in case if they ask in JMeter, right? So this is what you have to, this is the timer that we will use for to achieve that rendezvous point, right? This one, this is the timer that we use. So I'll explain that in the next 1 week, coming up week, right? JMeter is still in, in progress, right? So, but for now, remember that in JMeter, we use a timer called synchronizing timer to achieve simultaneous users, right? And if you remember, when I started JMeter, right? So I explained, I listed out the differences are, I mapped that load runner and JMeter terminology. You remember here? So rendezvous point, we use synchronizing timer here. I covered this, like I covered this slide. Yes or no? In the JMeter introduction. Okay. And what is load distribution in JMeter? Is it load distribution or distributed testing, Naeem? I think this is what is distributed testing in JMeter? Naeem, are you with us?
Yes, sir. I did not answer it, sir.
No. Do you remember the question well? I think
Yes, sir. What is load distribution in JMeter? I said that my training hasn't reached till that point. So
okay. As we are in scripting phase itself, like you told that we are still in scripting phase. But actually, I think this question is what is distributed testing in JMeter, not load distribution.
So maybe I took it wrong.
If you have that, call recording, you check that. Please check that and let me know. Okay.
Yes.
So what is distributed testing? This also we haven't, we are still in the scripting phase, we haven't covered it yet, right? So, but we will discuss like in detail what is distributed testing in JMeter, right? So let me quickly show you the corresponding slides. Right, we'll discuss in detail what is JMeter distributed testing, right? And how to do that distributed testing, how to do that master slave configuration. I will explain that. Those who completed JMeter, like anyone who already completed JMeter here, guys? Hello? There are few people who already completed JMeter.
Ganesh, sir.
Ganesh. So what would be your answer? What if they ask like what is what is distributed?
Master and slave. It can be distributed through master.
Frame the answer properly.
Sir, first we have to configure JMeter in the master and slave.
So first tell what is 1 second. First tell what is distributed testing.
Distributing the load
for the multiple users. The number of systems.
Right. So yeah. So that is distributed testing. Okay. Anyways, I'll cover that, in the coming up weeks. Next 1 or 2 weeks, I'll cover that. Right. So this is one important entry question in JMeter case. Coming to JMeter. 1 second. This is another important entry question. Which tool do you like more, load runner or JMeter? Right. Load runner or JMeter, and why? Another important entry question. Or else they may ask you in a different way. Suppose client asks you to suggest some tool, performance testing tool. Which tool do you suggest and why? Right? They can ask you in that way also, right? So this is another important interview question, right? So what did you answer, Naeem, for this?
Sir, first I asked her a return question like from what perspective, employee side or from
Very
client
good.
side. So she said to tell me both from both the perspectives.
Okay.
Then I said if it is client side, if it is from client's perspective, then it is JMeter because it is free.
Okay.
But if it is from employee side, it is load runner
Okay.
because it is easier to script and debug and will have a runtime viewer.
Okay. Yeah, LoaderNet, as per you, LoaderNet tool
Yes.
is more user friendly than JMeter, right? So, and it makes, analysis component helps to analyze the test results, right? More effectively than JMeter, right? So JMeter has reporting features. JMeter tool has less reporting features. We'll discuss that, once we complete the test executions, we'll discuss that. Yeah. So you can ask the, you can ask those questions. Good name. And one more thing you have to mention is it depends on your application protocol. Did you mention that? It depends on application protocol.
No, sir, I forgot it.
This is important thing, right? It
Okay.
depends on application protocol, client's budget, right? And all these factors, right?
Yes, sir.
These are important, right? Application protocol is the first and foremost one, which is important because even though, like from no matter whether it is from client perspective or employee perspective, if your application does, if JMeter doesn't support that communication protocol, we cannot use it, right?
Yes,
Sir.
So that means tool feasibility, right? Tool feasibility means we have to check if the tool is feasible for that application or not. Application protocol or tool feasibility. And client budget, right? And availability of resource as well, right? So we should be having the resources, right? So suppose if you want to use load runner, right? So or if you want to use NeoLoad, let's say for example, or if you want to use JMeter, there should be resources available, right? Those who are, who are having expertise in JMeter, that particular tool, isn't it? Right? So coming back to the actual questions, which tool do you like? You can explain your perspective. I like load runner because, it supports multiple protocols or it is user friendly, right? Its analysis component has more features, isn't it? So obviously, like it supports more protocols than JMeter. That's why you can explain your perspective, right? Because that is a question. Do you like, right? That is a question that is asked here. Okay. At the same time, like even though you like load runner, right? So client doesn't have budget, right? If client don't have budget for a license tool, so we have to go with JMeter, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the questions that you face, right? So let me. Next important question is JMeter manual or automation tool? Is this the question, this one, or whether JMeter can be, is JMeter a performance test tool or, functional testing tool?
No, sir, manual or automation only she asked, sir.
Okay, it's an automation tool only, obviously.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
a manual tool,
Automation
right?
tool.
So it's an automation tool. Another question that they may ask is, can we use, yeah, okay, this question is already there here at the bottom. Is JMeter used for functional testing? Yes, JMeter can be used for functional testing as well, right? So
Yes.
let me show that. I already explained this in the JMeter introduction session, in the first session. Okay, so let me show you that where I covered that. Okay. See here, in the JMeter introduction, I mentioned that JMeter is the only open source tool that can be used for performance testing and functional testing.
So
right?
for JMeter is manual or automation, we can say for both sides, sir. Functional testing is there.
What is that?
For JMeter is manual or automation, why can't we say it's manual if it is used for functional testing?
Okay. So if you are doing functional testing manually, that is called manual testing. If you are using any tool, right, you are automating it. You don't do it, manually. See, manual functional testing, see, okay, let me explain in this way. If you are doing some functional testing manually without using any tool, then only it is called as manual testing.
Okay, okay.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
If you are doing functional testing without using any tool, then that is called as manual testing. When you are using any tool, that doesn't become manual testing anymore. That's an automation tool. It's called as automation testing when you are using any tool.
Okay.
Understood or no?
Yes, sir.
If you are using some tool, right, then it is called as automatically, that is called as automation testing. If you are using any tool, right, that is not called as manual testing. That is called as automation testing.
Okay, sir.
Or that is automation, right? And one more next important question is, what is functional testing and non-functional testing? What is your answer, Mansa? What was your answer?
So I answered as function testing is testing the application functional
Functionality, right?
functionality I told, sir, and non-functioning is testing the application behavior like stability, scalability, speed. I answered, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Perfect. Right. And this one is geometry used for functional testing. You said yes, right? You told that you said yes, as per the chat conversation, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. And which mode of geometry is preferred, GUI and non-GUI, and explain why. Another important interview question, right? So when you start JMeter, every time you start JMeter, right? So here it is clearly mentioned for load testing, use CLI mode or non-GUI mode, right? And this don't use GUI mode for load testing. Only for GUI mode should be used only for test creation and test debugging. Means test creation means creating the script and debugging the script and all, right? So for load testing, you have to use CLI mode or non-GUI mode, right? So every time you launch JMeter, you will see this statement, and you will also see the comments. Most of the interviewers ask this comment. What is the command to run JMeter in non-GUI mode? You should remember this, and you should understand, and actually you should understand what does each character means here. What does each character means, right? So JMeter -n means of course, like those who though your April batch, of course, these are not yet covered. I think during the introduction I explained this, right? So I gave at a high level I explained this. So this -n stands for non-GUI mode. T stands for test plan.
Test execution.
Test plan. T stands
Yes,
for test plan. And you should give the script name actually.
Name with
After
the
the
path.
-t, you have to give the test plan name or your JMeter script name, right? -l followed by results file. That should be followed by the result file name .jtl. You should give the file name in with JTL format, in JTL format, right? And -e stands for end of the test. At the end of the test, create a report in this folder. This is the output folder path, right? And you should, after -o, you have to give the path to the report folder. Okay. So this is another important question. What is the command for executing JMeter test in non-GUI mode, right? So you have to remember this and you have to explain this, right? If you understand this command, right, no need, you will automatically remember. You need not by heart that, isn't it? So the answer
will
for
this be explained in detail?
What is it?
When will this command will explain in detail after we reach the point?
Yes. After scripting is completed, again I will explain this. Before starting the test executions, I'll explain that again for those who are currently doing JMeter, right?
Thank you.
Non-GUI mode. So we should use non-GUI mode for load testing, right? GUI mode should be used. Okay, I'll put it in this way. GUI mode should be used for. GUI mode should be used for. Yes.
Test script enhancements.
Script creation and
Creating a script
Script
and
debug.
enhancing the script.
debug.
Right?
Yeah.
Creating script, enhancing or debugging the script. Script enhancement. And next important, one more important interview question is, what are the steps in the script enhancement? So you have to remember at least 5 to 6 and you know, you should mention those: script enhancement or script debugging. All right. So another important interview question. So this is for GUI mode. GUI mode should be used only for creating the script and script enhancement and script debugging. Non-GUI mode, we should use that for text executions. Okay, our load test executions. Next important question is,
So we can add like GUI mode consumes high.
what is that?
GUI mode consumes high heap memory, so we are using non-GUI mode. Is that
Yes.
correct?
So when you run the test in GUI mode, so yeah, they may ask you like, what happens if I run in GUI mode? Because JMeter is resource intensive, means intensive means it takes more CPU and more memory. I explained that in the JMeter pros and cons. When we discussed JMeter pros and cons, right? I explained that. Yes or no? So it consumes, you know, it is high in CPU and memory consumption. JMeter is high in CPU and memory consumption. We discussed that. High memory consumption. Heap memory issues common while running a distributed scenario on single machine. Right? So we discussed that in the limitations part. So that's why we could not run test executions in GUI mode, isn't it? One second. Let me put it here. Okay. Session recording. Yeah. Next important interview question is, what is regression testing? Right? Yes.
Regression testing is nothing but whenever a new functionality is added,
right,
it will be done by checking the each functionality, like each transaction is functioning or not properly by adding that new functionality. Is it right, sir?
Right. So let me rephrase it. Okay. Let me rephrase it. So regression testing is done when regression testing is done, or what is regression testing? Whenever some new feature or functionality is added to the application, right? Whenever some new functionality or feature is added to the application, right? So we do regression testing to make sure that the previously working functionality is not disturbed, or previous features are working correctly. And we will also include we will test the new feature as well, right? So that is regression testing. Understood, guys?
So does this type of testing comes parallel to load and stress endurance, or is this a separate kind of test?
Regression testing, this is part of functional testing. Before performance testing itself, you know, this is part of functional testing. So regression testing is a software testing practice that ensures an application still functions as expected after any code changes, updates, or improvements, right? This is the important one. Whatever you see in bold, right? This is the important one that they expect, right? So it is, or you know, here you can see here, regression testing is rerunning the functional and non-functional test, right? Regression testing is rerunning functional and non-functional tests to ensure that previously developed and tested software still performs after a change. After a change means after any code changes. It is to regression testing is to check whether the previous functional and non-functional testing is, rerunning the functional and non-functional test to ensure that previously developed and tested software still performs after a change. After a change means after a new feature is added, right? If not, that would be called as regression. So after any code changes, if the software is not working, then we call that as a regression. Regression means going back, simply not, nothing but, okay, going back. Okay, what is, let's see what is regression. Let me show you what is the general meaning of regression. See, a return to a former or less developed scope.
Identifying the relationship between two variables.
What is that? Identifying relationship between two variables.
That is the strength of the relationship existing between two variables. That's we called as a regression. So simple terms. A general meaning of a regression is.
Okay, no, I am not aware of that definition. Okay. Okay, this is understood, right? So it is rerunning the functional and non-functional test to ensure that previously developed and tested software still performs after a code change. Okay, or else, you know, whatever definition is easier for you to understand and remember that. So it is a software testing practice that ensures an application still functions as expected after any code changes, updates, or improvements. So that is regression testing. Okay. Yeah, and let me pass it. So this is right. This is one of the important, you know, this is one of the questions asked in that second round. By the way, this question was asked in the second round. So basically, interviewers ask these type of questions to test whether you are, you know, if you face some challenge in the future, if they offer you some opportunity, if they give you some opportunity, and you know, if you face some challenge in the project. So whether you will be able to, you know, think properly and try to resolve it, or you will give up, simply give up. So you need not, you know, you need not be 100% correct. You need not give 100% correct answer. So what they see is like your attitude here, basically. Okay. So whether this question or that 3 liters and 5 liters, 5 liters jar question. So that is another popular question. So if you observe here, when I'm typing it, you know, you see Google suggestions, right? That means that is another popular question. 3 liter, 4 liter puzzle, right? And one more important aptitude question is sand timer puzzle. Check this one also. Google for this and, you know, try to understand this one. This puzzle is one of the most commonly asked interview puzzle. And what is the question, guys? So suppose you have two timers. One can measure 7 minutes and the other timer can measure some 11 minutes, right? So one can measure 7 minutes, the other sand timer can measure 11 minutes, right? So you have to measure 15 minutes using both of these timers. How will you measure it? This is another important interview question. I faced this interview question also in this puzzle also in one of the interviews. Okay, this one and this one I faced in Infosys when I am trying as a fresher. I already told you in the previous session, right? Another important question is that 3 liter, you know, how to measure 4 liters with 3 and 5, right? How to measure exactly 4 liters of water puzzle. Yes, this is another important, you know, measuring 4 liters puzzle. This is another important aptitude question that people ask. Okay, interviewers ask, right? Right. So and also we shared, you know, Supriya, one of the students shared some link, right? Suraj, I'll come to you. Supriya shared one link. Okay. Second, where is that? I will share this link to you. There are many reasoning tests here, or many aptitude tests in this link. Please let me open that link first. Right. So try to cover as many questions as possible. Try to cover as many, you know, reasoning questions or aptitude questions as possible. Okay. There is a free inductive reasoning practice test, verbal reasoning practice test, and some will ask questions like this case. You remember there will be some questions on number series. You know those questions, guys?
Yes, sir.
In this aptitude questions, right? There will be some questions on number series. Okay, let me give you some example. Number series questions with solutions. Simple questions, guys. These are simple questions and very fun to learn, actually. See, look at this series: 2, 1, half, 1/4. What number should come next? What number should
1
come
by 8.
next?
1 by 8.
1 by 8, as simple as that, right? See, this is nothing but 2 by 2, right? Half of the first number. Second number is half of the first number. Again, third number is half of the second number, previous number. Every number is half of the previous number. So in that way, like the next number becomes 1 by 8, right? Simple questions like this, like look, and one more question, 7, 10, 8, 11, 9, 12. 11, 9, 12. Yeah. What number
10.
should come next?
10, sir.
Okay. So if you observe the pattern, see here, 7, 8, 9. Again, you have 10, 11, 12. So what is the correct answer?
10.
Right. So this number series, if you observe here, there are two series here actually. Internally, there are two series. One, this is one series, 7, 8, 9, and 10, 11, 12, isn't it? So, and you have the 10 here, right? So that is the answer. Here you can see you answer option B, isn't it? This is a simple alternating addition and subtraction series, right? Option B, right? So, go through these, I'll share this link also with you.
Sir, India Bix kuda manchiga undi sir.
What is that?
India Bix.
India Bix.
Sorry sir. Sorry.
You know this site previously?
Yes sir. Engineering lo unnappudu aptitude ide prefer chesaru sir.
Okay. I'll share it in the WhatsApp group also, in our WhatsApp groups also. Okay. So April batch. Okay, so that means all this. I'll do one thing. I'll collect all these links first. Okay. Let me pause record. Yeah. So we have a question from one of the participants, right? So if how can we convert a hair file, or can we record a script using developer tools and create a Vision script, isn't it? That's the question. That's your question, right, Karishma?
Yes sir.
So in the previous, previously I covered like how to create a script from Fiddler, right? Fiddler session archive or SSH.
Yes, sir.
So we have already seen that. Now how to create a script, or how to create a Vision script from developer tool, right? So for that, to show that what I did is like, you just open, like 1 second. Let me open a new tab. Let me do it from scratch, right? So let's say I will open developer tools, launch developer tools first, and say Amazon.in. Okay. Now let me, and you search for some product. Let's say you search for some product. I'll record that also, right? Now once you do all your transactions, business transactions, right? So right click on in this developer tools part and save all as hair with content, right? And save it somewhere like so here you can see that it is getting saved in downloads folder, and it is saved with this name, amazon.in.hair. Remember, .hr stands for HTTP archive. .hr stands for HTTP archive, right? Save it as a hair file, HTTP archive file, right? Now launch Vision, right? Once you have the hair file, right, just drag and drop that hair file to Vision. So your Vision will automatically create a script for that. Okay. So this is the hair file, right, that we got just now, we saved just now. So drag and drop that hair file to Vision. And there you go. Now it is, see, observe here, it is analyzing the traffic file, means it is analyzing that hair file and it will generate the script. Now it is generating the Vision script for you. Vision is generating the script by analyzing the traffic file, that HTTP traffic file. And here you go. Your script is ready now.
Sir, atla drag chestene open avutunda ante itla file loki open loki hair file open chesina itla avutunda sir.
You can do that as well. Maybe you can do that as well. With our solution open with let's try that. Okay, let's try it. With our solution means it will launch this window, right? No, it doesn't.
Downloads ki ellochu కదా sir, akkada options ఉంటాయి.
No, here we can open only Vision scripts and
all files ki elli paina drag option ఉంది sir.
That is working, right? Why do you want file and open? What do you want? నీకు కావాల్సింది ఏంటి? You want a Vision script.
Okay sir. Thank you sir.
And you drag and drop, you are getting that.
Okay sir.
Right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. So this is how we can create a visual script, right? And if you want to create a JMeter script from this hair file,
Convert to .jmx.
I already covered it in the training, right? In the sessions, in the previous sessions. So you can Google search for, converting
BlazeMeter website lo
JMX, right? Or JMeter script. So you'll get this website in the first place, like BlazeMeter, converter.blazemeter.com. You click on the site and export, choose that file, that hair file, right? So go to downloads and choose that hair file. This one, right? This one, right? Open that hair file, click on convert, and you can download that JMX file, the generated JMX file, JMeter script. Download that JMX file now by using this link, isn't it? That we have already seen that. You practiced that already, everyone. Yes or no? Everyone practiced, or you just, you just watched the session, that's it? Or everyone practiced that? So you can now drag and drop that JMX file to JMeter. You can open a new instance, or you can open that JMeter script into an existing instance as well. Okay, let me open a new instance. Open a new instance of JMeter and drag and drop that file, that JMX file. All right. Right. So this is your. This is the script
వచ్చినప్పుడు
JMeter.
మనం ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్ ఇచ్చుకోవాలంటే ఎట్లా సార్ ఇట్లా వస్తాయి కదా ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్?
Yes, you will not be able to differentiate the transactions. So for doing that, if you want to differentiate the transactions, right? 1 second. Let me check if there is a way here. Hold on. 1 second. Okay, let me show you that way also. Let me show you another way. Okay, let me start from scratch. Okay, let me open a private browser of Chrome. So what you can do is, if you want to have, separate those transactions, each of those transactions, right? So what you can do is, you go to the home page or do the first transaction, right? And here you have an option here, export hair, right? Export hair or import hair file. 1 second. Yes. Sorry. Export hair. Use this option, export hair, and save it with some name. Okay. For example, Amazon home page. Save it with that name, right? And click on that. Clear everything. And next do the next transaction. Okay. And again do that, right? So you can again do this, export hair, and you can say this as search operation. Right now you can differentiate those transactions, right? So you have to take a test plan and you open those, those. Now we have two things, right? So we have one file for 1 second. Where is that? Where it got saved? Here it is. Amazon homepage and Amazon.
Yes, sir.
Now what you can do is, instead of clubbing all these, right, all these transactions, right, because we need the transaction response time, isn't it? So instead of clubbing all those, what you can do is, you create, open a new JMeter instance, and first, generate the, or drag and drop the home page first, right?
JMX లో కన్వర్ట్ చేయ.
What is that?
JMX file గా
JMX file లో కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలి సార్.
Oh, yes, sorry. Choose file. Yes, we need to convert that JMX and then open those individually, and you have to club those. Then you will be able to differentiate the home page transaction and the search transaction. Converted. So, but you have to do for each transaction manually. Okay, maybe there may be some other simple way, but I'm not aware of that. Generally, like we can use BlazeMeter Chrome plugin for recording, and if you use JMeter Chrome plugin, right, you can view the comments over there. You can separate the different transactions over there. Okay, that option will be there in JMeter Chrome plugin. Sorry, BlazeMeter Chrome plugin. Understood?
Yes.
Download the JMX file. So this is Amazon homepage, and next you can choose the next one, right, which is search one, search operation. Again, you have to download that JMX file, open all those files separately, and you can you can copy paste those transactions to one test plan.
Sir, BlazeMeter Chrome plugin ante just record చేసేటప్పుడు ఈ వెబ్సైట్ ని ఓపెన్ చేయాలా సార్ సెట్టింగ్స్ కి?
Yeah, I'll show you that. Wait, I'll show you that. This is Chrome browser only, right? So let me show you that. I should be having that already. 1 second. How to do that with Chrome plugin is, we have one BlazeMeter plugin for Chrome browser. So how to use that is, like, I believe I already have that on my machine. Go to more tools and extensions, and here in extensions, okay, I don't HTTP watch, okay, search extensions. Let me do one thing. BlazeMeter. BlazeMeter Chrome extension, right? So Chrome extensions, BlazeMeter. You should find it in one of these links. BlazeMeter Chrome extension. Okay. Yeah. So you can click this, use this option, add to Chrome. I think I deleted it. Okay. Or maybe that is not there in this profile. So click on this add to Chrome and click on this add extension.
సార్ ఆ పాప్ని కొంచెం చాట్ లో పెడతారా సార్? కాపీ చేసి.
What is that?
సార్ ఆ పాత్ చాట్ లో పెడతారా సార్?
Just search for BlazeMeter Chrome extension. That's it. Okay. So once you download it, we added to Chrome, right? Now you will see, yeah, this is extensions icon, right? Right. See here, guys. So this is the icon for Chrome extensions. So click on that, and you can launch that BlazeMeter Chrome extension like this. Click on this BlazeMeter, right? Click on that. Hold on. Go to extensions. 1 second. No access needed. Extensions.
Manage extensions.
Manage extensions, huh? Okay.
Developer mode on చేయాలండి సార్ అక్కడ పక్కన డెవలపర్.
So let me. This is how you have to double. Just click on that and yeah, right. Now you get this window, right? So you have to create an account, and you can sign up and create an account for yourself if you want, right? So or else let me enter the name of the tester. Okay. So I'll name it as BlazeMeter Chrome plugin demo. Give some name. Okay, this is the name of the test plan. Sorry. Yeah, that's fine. Let it be like that. So click on this record button, start recording, and perform your transactions now. Okay. So let's say, right now, see here. So you can give some labels to this. Observe here. So suppose if you want to give add one more step, right? So what you can do is you can click here, And suppose the next operation is search operation, search product. You can give some name here, add step, and then perform the transaction. Whatever you want to search, right? Now it will be recorded as a, observe here, it is recorded as a separate transaction. Clear, guys? So next one, suppose if you want to select a random product, okay, just give some name here, select random product, add step, and select some random product. Right? You have to log in actually. Let me stop recording. Stop this recording with this BlazeMeter Chrome extension. Stop recording. And you should actually log in, I think, like to download the script, right? I think you have to actually log in. Yeah, so click on this save button, Selenium only. Yes, you have to log in actually. You have to sign in. JMeter, wait. So JMeter, select scripts to save. JMeter and save. Yeah, it's got saved as a YAML file. And JMeter Selenium.yaml. So I think, like if you log in, right, so it will work properly. I believe like you have to log in. Let me sign in. I already have an account. Let me sign in. Let me do it one more time, okay? So let's make a phone plugin demo. You can give some project name here, saving project, default project. So here you can give some project name. Okay. Okay, I'll do one thing. I already have one project, AOS, right? Save it into AOS and no. Now let me start recording. Okay. Start recording and go to that website, advantageshopping.com. Right, and then let the page be completed. Now add your second step. Select, let's say, laptops, or go to laptops page. Go to laptops page. Okay, add step and perform the transaction. Right. So, and you in this way you complete all your business transactions, whatever you want to record, and stop recording. Right now, click on that again, launch that again, and you will be able to save that now. So click on the save button. Now you get this option, right? Select script to save. Select select this JMeter, right? And select the domain's name to include. So here you can filter directly, filter the unwanted URLs. Understood, guys? Are you with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right? So select the domains, means this is something like recording report in LoadRunner. In LoadRunner, we have something called recording report, right? We go to the recording report and we select the domain.
Yes, sir.
So the same way here you can do that, by selecting the domains, right? So click on save, select JMeter and select the domains to include, and click on this save button. Export. Now it is creating a JMeter script and it downloaded now, right? So now let me open that in JMeter. Let me drag and drop that JMX file and open it. Yeah. So now you see, right? So this is the home page.
Yes, sir.
I haven't given the name first, step name first. So, but actually this is AOS home page. home page, and this is laptop page, right? So this is how we can create from BlazeMeter Chrome's extension, BlazeMeter Chrome extension or plugin. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
And let me quickly show you how to create a project. Also, we can create a project first, right? So you can create a project. Click on this BlazeMeter, and if you want to create a new project, right? Let me see where is the option, advanced option. No, this one, save in project, edit, JMeter script, save. There should be a way to create a project also, save in project. Yeah, here you can add the project name. For example, you want to add okay, no. Where to save it for project space. There should be a way to create these projects also. I created this AO1 project for AOS. Sorry, I couldn't recollect at the moment. Project. Can someone Google search it, please? How to create a project? Can someone Google search it? Workspace. Workspace. Sorry, I couldn't recollect this. I have to check it. Okay, so you can create some project and you can save it into that project. They will be populated in the drop down like this. So you can save it into those particular project. Okay. Advanced options. Settings. Just Google search for that and try to do that. Yes, try to create some project. Okay. Otherwise, anyways, it will be saved into this default project. That will be saved into this default project, anyways.
Yes, sir,
that is.
I searched it, sir.
How to do that?
It's saying BlazeMeter icon.
Okay, fine. Just Google search it and follow those steps. Okay. I'm closing it, guys. It's already 10:30. I'm closing it, guys. Okay. Okay. So let me do some self-promotion, guys. So this is my YouTube channel, Software Performance Testing. Search for Software Performance Testing Real-Time Training, and you will see this icon or logo. So please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and to receive updates on the new batches and free demo sessions like this. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Do like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, guys. And if you want to know like any details about the live training, contact on the number displayed over here. So let me quickly show my contact number. So please contact on this, WhatsApp me on this number if you want to join the live training. Thank you. Thanks for joining, and thanks for watching the session, and have a nice day.